Hello, we are learning domain and range for a function or relation. These two pictures remind us about the definition of functions. We know not every relation is a function. Function has to be one-to-one or many-to-one. Just like what these two pictures show here. What is domain? Domain is the set of all allowed input X. You can relate domain with the word door. You see, D goes with D. That might help you to remember. Like this picture shows a door here. It allows the input to go in. When we see a function graph, we will read domain from left to right. That tells you about what kind of axis value that can go into the function. What is a range? Range is the set of all possible output Y. You can relate range with the word result because this R is the same as this R. This might help you remember. The range is about the result of a function. It's about output. When we read a graph of a function, to see the range, we have to see the data from the bottom to top, like what this picture shows. This table shows all the possible domains. How to denote this domain? The denotation with all these parentheses are for advanced math. In Algebra 1, we have to concentrate on this inequality denotation. So I want everybody to pay attention to the inequality denotation here. You can see all these examples. Like this one, if your x is between -2 and 3, but not included -2 and 3 itself. So you don't have equal here. When you don't have the equal, make sure your graph has an open circle there. But look at this example. Because your data allows 3, so you have less than or equal to 3. Then this circle has to be filled in, shaded. It has to be a solid shaded circles. Make sure you're very careful drawing these circles at the boundary point. Is it an open circle like this, or is it a solid circle like this? That is very important. And if there are infinity involved, like one side is bounded, but the other side is open to the infinity, these are the expression here. Remember, if there are infinity involved, you have two different ways to express your domain or range. These are the examples to tell you how to say it. You can always refer to this table. to know how to write it correctly. So this is a very useful table for you for reference. There are two types of functions. One is discrete functions. The other kind is continuous functions. Discrete functions, you have XY pair as your data. It's input-output pairs. And it's not continuous. So you basically just have some points to describe your function. So you don't really know what the function do. You only know some input-output pairs of your function. We have learned there are 4 different ways to represent a function. So here are these 4 different ways to represent this discrete function, and we are learning how to say their domain and range. If the function is in a set of points, domain is all this x's, range is all this y's. Make sure those points has to be written in a set symbol. This is the set symbol. This is big curly braces. If your data is in a table, same thing. You just write all the x's for domain, write all the y value for range. And remember, if you have repeat the y value, you only have to write it once. This one, same thing. You have repeated the x. So this is not a function. It is a relation. But the domain is only 1, 2, 4. And the range is 11, 13, 16, and 17. You just write them inside of this set symbol. If it's represented by a graph, like this function, there are 4 points there. You just write their x value for domain and write the y value for range. For continuous function, you have to write it this way. Like this figure shows, from the left to right, we don't see any boundary. It's from infinity, negative infinity to positive infinity. For the y direction, you can see the lowest point is -2. So it is from -2 goes above to infinity. So it's written as -2 less or equal than y less than infinity. I want to remind you one more time, whenever there is an infinity involved, you can never put equal there because nobody knows where infinity is. So whenever you want to describe the infinity, you cannot put an equal to an infinity. So there is no equal sign here. This is an anchor chart to give 2 more examples about how to write domain and range for continuous function and discrete function. The top one is a continuous function. You can see the domain goes from 2 to infinity. So you can write the 2 less or equal than the x less than infinity. Or you can write it as x is greater than or equal to 2. For y, you can see its lowest point is at 1. So your range is 1 less than or equal to y less than infinity. Or you can write it as y is greater than or equal to 1. But for discrete function, you just have to write domain this way. List all the x's in the domain and list all the y value in the range. That completes our lesson today. Thank you.